Guys, today we're going to be working on our pumpkin patch drawings from last week. And before we start painting, I'd like to make sure that everybody has their name on theirs. If you don't have it visible on the front, please make sure that it's on the back, right in the middle. You guys are also 5J Group C, so if you put that on the back as well, that would be really helpful. Before you begin, what I'd like to see you guys do is take some of the oil crayons and maybe just add a few details, especially on the bottom. Just add some detail to make it look like the pumpkins are in a pumpkin patch. So you don't have to color in, but if you just want to go ahead and add some overlapping lines, go right over the glue, really makes no difference. So I'm quickly adding some grass to the pumpkin patch, and of course you don't have to use just one green. You can use a light green, you can use a darker green. I imagine in a lot of patches you might even see a little bit of brown. So just go ahead, press kind of hard. Again, make sure I can still see your name. If you would like to also, if you didn't already, like I created a vine that was attached to my stem. If you didn't already do that, now would be a good time where you could go ahead with the oil crayon and actually attach a vine or a leaf. So I think in this case I've already got one that I've drawn with glue, but maybe I'll add a leaf shape to the vine. Again, you don't have to do this, just a little detail that I would like to add. Maybe I'll add another shape here to look like a leaf, and I'll put a few veins in the leaf. Okay, that's really all the detail I need for now. If I wanted to, I could either oil crayon the stem or I can paint it. So that's really all I need to add, unless of course you want to add in the background somewhere, you would like to add far off in the distance, maybe a moon glowing, because we're going to be putting watercolor over these. If you do add a moon, make sure you press pretty solid so it really shows up. All right, so that's a small moon off in the distance. And now I'm going to start painting. So remember, when you start painting, you're going to need some paper towel. I usually take like 3 pumps of paper towel and then I fold it in half again, and this will be a blotter. You can share a palette of paint with your neighbor sitting next to you, or you can have your own. Same with the water. For easy cleanup, you might want to share with the person you're sitting next to. And of course, you're going to need a watercolor brush. Remember, the watercolor brushes have the soft, the hair on them, so they really soak up a lot of water. And I would recommend that you paint the jack-o'-lanterns, or I'm sorry, not the jack-o'-lanterns, the pumpkins first. And so I'm going to just get the orange wet, and I'm going to quickly go right on top of the glue and paint the jack-o'-lanterns. So I need a pretty wet brush to get this job done. Go ahead and work quickly and spread out the paint. Get some more of that orange color. And now if you want to create the illusion even further of making your pumpkin look three-dimensional, you're going to want to add some shadows. So where would the pumpkin be darker? Well, on the sides, behind the stem, and even at the bottom. So to make this orange darker, I might add a little red. I might even consider adding a little bit of brown to the orange. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take a little bit of the brown, and I'm going to put it on the side of the jack-o'-lantern just to add a little bit of darker orange. It's mixing in. If you work quickly enough, you'll be painting wet into wet. The paper is wet, and I'm adding a little bit of brown, which is wet, so it should mix pretty easily. If it gets too dark, just go ahead and add a little bit more of the orange. Now, if you want to make it look like the moonlight is glowing on part of your pumpkin, rinse your brush, go ahead and get a little yellow. That mixed on top of the orange is going to make your pumpkin looks like it's glowing, and it's a lighter orange color. So now I'm going to be painting the 2 pumpkins that are behind this pumpkin that's in front, and the moonlight is going to be hitting this one, so the other pumpkin should be a little darker. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and paint it orange again, But this time, I'm going to add a little bit of brown to the orange, just to darken it a little bit. If you want to make the orange a little bit different, you can also add a little bit of red to your orange. Spread it out. I think I'll make it a little bit more orange so it looks like it's behind this pumpkin. This one should be in front, so it's going to be a little darker there. I'm going to go ahead and add some shadow. I'm just sort of dabbing on the brown to make it look like it's behind it. And maybe I'll make it look like the moonlight is shining on part of it here, so I'm going to get the yellow, put that on top to mix with the orange. This way it's just not all the same orange. We really have some nice variation here. When this dries, we're going to be working back into the glue lines with an extra fine Sharpie, so don't even pay attention to the glue lines right now. We're going to deal with those the next time you work on these. So I'm going to finish up this last jack-o'-lantern. I keep calling them jack-o'-lanterns. You guys know they're pumpkins. Until you carve a face, they're still pumpkins. So I'm going to spread this paint out and add the shadows. Rinse my brush, take a little bit of brown. The paint is starting, as you can see, the paint's starting to get really soft, so I'm just using the tip of my brush to get some of that brown mixing with the orange to make it look darker. And now I'm going to paint the stems. This one's behind the pumpkin a little bit. And now I'm ready to rinse my brush, and I can either go ahead and paint the ground, or I can go ahead and start painting the sky. I would do that next. So when you're ready to do the sky, if you want it to look really dark, then you're going to mix up a really dark blue. So this looks like blue here. And you're gonna go right on top of the moon and right on top of the crayon, if you used oil pastel, which I'm encouraging everybody to at least add a little bit of detail with the oil pastel. So there was a little bit of black mixed in with my blue, so that's how I created that really dark navy blue. I'll paint right over this. Mixing this up. Again, I'm keeping the paint really pretty wet, my brush, and spreading it out. You can make your sky look any way you want. If you want to add a little purple to your sky, little magenta streaks. Best to work while it's still wet. If you want to add a little bit of variation to your color. For a neat effect, I'm going to add a really dark blue shadow behind my pumpkins. Again, that shadow is going to make these pumpkins look like they're coming forward. That contrast between the dark next to the light pumpkins, that really makes a huge difference. All right, the only thing I have left now to paint is my ground. I think you guys know what to do with that section. You're just going to use the greens. And of course, if you want to make it look a little bit more natural, after adding the green, you might want to add a little brown to tone it down and make it look a little more natural. When you are finished painting your pumpkins in the patch, could you please bring them to the drawing table? Make sure you wash your brush, bring everything back to the sink, and if there's still some time left, feel free to get some paper and free draw for a little bit. I'm hoping that you'll get this far today. Thank you.